Alright guys, today I'm learning to make a bottle opener caddy. At least I think that's what it's called. I've never really seen one before. So the first thing I do is I get this orbital sanding disc and I use it to round out the top of the board that I'm going to hang the bottle opener on. Alright, then I get my jigsaw out and I go ahead and I cut that pattern that I made with the orbital disc. And I'm not very good with the jigsaw, or I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not sure what the deal is. Anyways, I got to sand that a lot to get really the right shape that I want. And I'm right in the middle of sanding in my eyes. I'm just getting so much sand in my eyes. I don't know what the deal is. A little more sanding, I pretty much have the shape that I want, although I'm not sure if I really like it, but it's going to have to do for now. Then I put the bottle opener on the board. I'm not sure what I think I'm looking at, but I do it anyways. I've got a manly drink bucket sitting around, so I go ahead and I circle that, and I'm going to use that as the hole I'm going to cut for my bucket. Alright, so next I move to the table saw, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rip this board down within an inch of where I drew that circle for my bucket. And I won't show you how I finished ripping that because it's probably not very safe. I need an outfeed table. Then I hop over to the miter saw and I go ahead and I cut that down to width. To get ready to cut the hole out for my bucket, I use my drill press, which I don't find much use for yet. Hopefully I will in the future. But I use that to go ahead and cut the starter holes for my jigsaw. Over to the jigsaw, and I'm going to cut that circle for my bucket. So I set my orbital setting to the lowest setting, and I've read that's what you're supposed to do for precision. And if you really are able to watch closely here, or I'm not sure if I show it, I'm not very precise even with that orbital setting set to the lowest. I eventually get the circle cut out, and it's not very precise, but it's good enough. It'll hold the bucket. And here I am making sure it will indeed hold the bucket. Next, I use the top I made to mark the width of two of the sides that I'm going to use for the box that will go around the bucket. To the table saw, and I cut all my sides of the box to the appropriate width, and I'm going to put those specifications for the box in the comments. So pretty quick after I started this, it's already time to start putting it together, gluing and screwing and just making sure it's going to work. So I did a little dry fit to make sure that's all going to go together correctly before I actually do the gluing and screwing. Now time for an awkward camera glance. Once again, I'm using the Craig jig to put pocket holes in here because that's just a really easy way to construct this. And I don't really care if you can see the screws inside of there because you're really never going to see inside of there, so no big deal. This is the easiest way I could find to go ahead and screw this in there. If anybody has any tips for me, just please let me know in the comments. But it seemed to go together pretty smoothly. I didn't have to sand a whole lot in the end. So everything did go smoothly until I was putting the last side on, and my drill wouldn't fit in there to get the pocket hole screws in, so I had to get the snake drill attachment thingy out, and I'll put the link to that in the comments. Also, I wasn't very smart, and it took me forever to figure out I needed to use a clamp to keep the box from moving while I was screwing everything in. But eventually I did figure that out. After painting everything as close to Texas Tech red as I had, I used these two little blocks you see on the bottom to position my post for the bottle opener just a little above the bottom of the box. That way that post would be high enough for me. You could obviously make that post a little bit higher if you're a little taller than I am, but I found that this was the good height for me when I open my bottles. So here's the bucket going in, and it fits like a glove, as Ace Ventura would say. And here is my bottle opener in action. Boom. Hope you like. Please subscribe.
Bye. Look how many teeth are left. Do they look shiny?